everybody, Chris here from Baby Lock. I have to tell you, one of the things that drives me crazy when I am hemming a garment with a cover stitch is the bulk that I get right there at that seam. So in a sense, I've constructed my garment using a 4-thread or 3-thread overlock because it's a knit garment, and I get to that hem and I end up with this nasty bulk that just screams, "You made it, you made it, you made it." So I have, through trial and error, figured out a way, it was really pretty easy actually, how to fix that. So let me show you how I approach that. First thing is we're just going to create a hem in this little mock dress that I made. I've got that 4-thread overlock seam pressed to one side. That would be my construction seam. Slide everything underneath that presser foot. And again, I personally like that Teflon foot for sewing on knits. I just find that it just seems to glide so much easier on the fabric, and I like that stitch length of 4 or 3.5 to 4. It just looks nicer on knits because knits have a little bit of that pullback and spring, and I think sometimes a shorter stitch length looks really short when you're on creating a hem. Okay, so I'm coming to that seam right there, right? And you can see that that's a fairly large hump because I pressed everything to the side. So there's 2 layers of that because it's folded back on itself. So really what I do is I come inside right here where that fold is. There's that fold for that hem. So I'm going to clip from the fabric edge to that first needle thread. And what that does is that allows me to take my 2 hems and make one go one direction and one go the other direction. So I'm just going to flip that and flip that, and you can see what that's done. So now what that does is these 2 hems don't sit on top, or the seam doesn't sit on top of one another. This is certainly something you can do ahead of time, because then what I do is after I've got that flipped, I actually use a small binder clip just to hold that in place so that something doesn't flip on me while I'm stitching, because that always seems to happen. So I just take that binder clip, I place it right here on that hem, and then that keeps that twist that I created in that seam in place. And then I'm just going to continue stitching. All the way to the end. And then you can see that that bulk doesn't sit right there. Now I do have a little bit of this going on there. That was basically me. Some things that this might happen to you, some things that you can do to combat that is to adjust your foot pressure. And the other thing is if you increase your differential feed, that will help push that fabric up to that needle so that you don't have that bogged down in the stitching. But again, you can see how nice and flat that seam is after, and that's really what I wanted to show you. It's just a quick and easy trick. Some of you may already do it, but I think it's just a great gentle reminder, and it's also something great and new for somebody that's never done it before. So that's the removing bulk from my hem before I sew it, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!